Hello, Vice Southern here with the September YTC that we'll be doing post-commentary for. Today we have Burritos, consistent topping player, against new, well, not too new, but definitely a newer face within the finals scene, X69420. I'll be just going by X6 because it's a lot easier to say. We'll be having Burritos on one of his signature decks, Zombies. Really good with it. You can see he has Fraulein there. He can make it in quite a bunch of different ways. I don't remember particularly what build this was at the time, but we should see at least some Shernui lines. And in the case of X69420, they've been working on just Shadal's, Witchcrafters, and Neos Fusion all in the same deck. You know, Neos Fusion, basically Shadal Fusion. What's a restriction? Why does it matter? Nobody cares about that stuff. It says mill 2 cards. Let's see how this one turns out. See X6 going first, and did they open the Neos Fusion? No. With a triple tack. Well, I mean, it's an interesting card in 60. We had the Maxi. Oh dear. Getting rid of Ghost Ogre to set up the early Neos. I guess it doesn't particularly matter because we can just add back the Ghost Ogre with the Recycling Plant, but because this is probably going to be our only fusion summon for the turn, the Maxi is just an upstart here, so. Wasn't too good, but their hand didn't seem that good either, so it's a cycle. Unizombie. Milling from deck. Adding Fraulein. Most likely going to use it here. Clear the Neos because it is not protected. Going to Sokka. So this does telegraph at least some form of revival among the sea of set 5. Good luck, X6. That ain't gonna do it. It's most likely gonna be Unizombie. Take a free draw. I don't think you ogre here. Oh, you do? But okay. Well, I mean, if you get sacked, you get sacked, I guess. Yeah, that hand was just awful. Not really a good showcase of the deck, but you know. When you brick, you brick. And playing Neos Fusion, you gotta play Neos, so you're gonna brick. Game 2. I'm gonna start with the Magician of Prophecy. This deck probably has some better normal summons, but spending normal summon to be budget card D is better than not, I guess. It does deck 3 cards in the combo, so, you know. If you draw it in the right order, it's basically upstart at 3, I guess. That also uses your normal summon. Samurai Skull picking up a Jacoburan. Most likely setting up a play 2. Ooh. He's one of the new cards from the set. Oh man, all sorts of text on this one. So, apply this effect based on whether your opponent has more monsters in their graveyard or more spells and traps. If they have more monsters, banish this card, and if you do, your opponent banishes 1 monster from their graveyard. If they have more spells and traps, send this card to the graveyard, and if you do, your opponent sends 1 monster they control to the graveyard. Interesting. It's definitely probably going to be more spells and traps for a while against the, you know, Witchcrafter portion of this deck, but it's definitely interesting. During the next end phase, after this card is banished, special summons banish card. And that is a loop with Jacoburan. Cool. See how much it comes up here. There's a Witchcrafter part of the deck. Showing its ugly mug. That's one of the premium counters. The other one being Called by the Grave, because This is still able to activate and put something in the graveyard, but pitching a Monster Reborn for that's a pretty good Ash Blossom. Just a mid defeat down. I wouldn't blame you. Jack of Burns, gonna Psychopompous. Ash? Oh, it's kept. Huh. I guess we're just setting up a tuner. Poke first, don't want to play into Torrential. Oh, we're just not playing into Torrential at all. Yeah, not sure why we didn't use this first. This is like a free way to deck then, because we could have drawn into one of the cards that we could search off of the Shemeta and it just fade one of our draws for turn. Really bad. Set 2. Dolls are pretty good sets, so hopefully it's good. Most likely going to use the Jack of Burhan. Psychopompous, because we have spells and traps, we're going to have to be forced to send a monster we control here. No, sorry, cheating that there. You won't lose anything because it'll banish itself. And if you do, your opponent banishes one monster from their graveyard. No, the effect we're looking at, if they have more spells and traps in their card. Your opponent sends one monster they control to the graveyard. Why wouldn't it? Oof. This is a top 3 most likely, and it was correct to not play into the Torrential there because he seems to read that perfectly in a deck against, 60 cards. Drawing Torrential, playing around Torrential. The usual. We're not going for the pot 3 here, no point. Gonna keep our lead going with the Squire. Oh man. This is just awful for X6. I don't think there's any way they can come back from this position. We have a play starter, we have a Mizuki, we still have our Jekaburan. And the Psychopompous is gonna come back during the invade. And we have Monster Reborn that doubles as a banish. Alright, another Foolish Burial. What's this here? God Ghost. This card is special summoned from the graveyard. Target a monster you control. It is virtually invincible. During the end phases, the card is currently banished and was banished this turn. Okay, we're just a DD card now. You can add this card to hand. Okay, pretty decent with the Jekaburn. But how will we survive this battle phase? Graveyard effects. Special summoning. Pottery. Yep. Because this is in the battle phase, we won't be able to use the effect, but it shouldn't matter. 2k. Big butt. Psychopompous. Cosmic. Again, we're in a situation where we're getting really low, and this is your game 2 lifeline. Luckily, not too sure if this was going to come up as much, but again, you never know. Oof. You hate to see it, honestly. This was a pretty one-sided one. We didn't see any of the Neos fusions in our deck, and it's at 3 in this build, I believe. Got to see some of the Witchcrafters, but that got Ash, so we didn't really get to snowball with that. We're only just now seeing the dolls, and only one of them's good in this game state. The DD Crow was fine. Imperm never got used and got popped. The Torrential, we just sat on the entire time. So spending that first turn on just the Magician of Prophecy, yeah, can definitely see why I have some concerns regarding that one. But it's cool to see. Zombies take the win here. and see one of the first topping innovations of the Witchcrafter Shadow Neos Fusion Turbo build.